from New England, we are going to the Jets.
Last but not least.
Yeah. Now, this is where it got interesting.
Okay.
Because the Jets, in terms of head coach, don't have like the most definitive guy.
Yeah.
So I actually went with Rex Ryan.
Really?
But here's why. So, he did get the Jets to 2 AFC championships because he's a defensive guru. And I found most of the elite talent on this team was on the defensive side of the ball.
I have Bill Belichick's napkin.
Really?
That says I'm signing. Before I put Rex.
The
Ryan.
residue of Bill Belichick. No, again, and trust me, I really thought about a couple people.
Yeah.
But I was like, I think the best chance this team has is through elite defense.
To be honest with you.
And so I went Rex Ryan because he's a defensive guru who, like, he got to the AFC Championship beating Tom Brady and Peyton Manning to get there on the back of great defense.
Yeah.
So I figured, like, listen, if there's any great chance, it's through defense. So I went Rex Ryan.
I got Rex Ryan too. To be honest with you, I had to give you a hard time for a little bit, but 100%. I can't name another coach. I kind of wanted to give it to Robert Saleh. To be honest with you.
Oh gosh, what's his name? The dude that won the Super Bowl. He had this super unique name.
Oh man.
Oh, what was his name? Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Yeah, go for it. I'll talk a little bit more about Rex Ryan.
Go for it, please do.
As a former USC fan, I was a big Mark Sanchez guy, so I want to see Mark Sanchez do well. We've all seen how the kind of quarterback that Mark Sanchez is. So for Mark Sanchez to be covered up enough to that they could go to back-to-back AFC championships and be the best Jets team I've seen in my life.
Yeah.
I absolutely think that he's the guy for that to lead this roster. But
his name, the dude who won the Super Bowl for them was the other one. His name was Weeb Eubank.
Weeb Eubank.
I was like, I know it's unique. Part of me really thought about Adam Gase.
Yeah, I couldn't bring myself to really put anybody else. I thought about Robert Saleh.
I can't. There's not enough. So I just went with Rex Ryan, 2 AFC championships, and defensive master.
I've seen a lot of success there. I'll leave it there.
So, quarterback. Again, most of these teams had a pretty easy answer at this position. And that's Joe Namath, Broadway Joe.
Okay.
Pretty obvious. The only person on the Jets who could match his personality might be Rex Ryan.
That's fair.
So,
projection, I got Zach Wilson.
Oh my God.
I think he might be. We'll have to see. I'm a big Zach Wilson
It's a
fan.
hell of a projection.
I think Zach Wilson, when it's all said and done, especially with the improvement I saw over the course of the year, and with the best draft that I've ever seen the Jets pull off in their life.
So that means there's 3 busts right there.
Oh my lord. Well, as somebody who is a fan of a team who has been able to change the culture by bringing the right guy, I don't know if Zach Wilson is Joe Burrow-esque, but I absolutely do think that with the athletic talent that this guy brings, I think he's got a freaking cannon. Give him, with some of the guys that they were able to bring in, I think Zach Wilson, when it's all said and done, could very well end up being a Josh Allen type guy for the Jets, of being the future guy that the Jets fans can finally be like, thank
Listen,
fucking God.
I applaud your conviction on this one.
Yeah.
I have to see literally some sign of life before I have to see something that makes me think that we aren't going to give him this just on flashes.
I see. I've seen enough that I know it's not flashes. Granted, we'll see if I'm correct. But he passes the eye test for the Jets.
Right.
As a Sam Darnold fan who was a USC guy, there were moments where I was more worried about Darnold than I have been for Zach Wilson, and I think they made the right moves. We'll just have to see them pay off now.
Okay.
This might be the coldest take, and if you give me a year, and I might be the biggest meme on Twitter.
You just might.
But I think Zach Wilson will end up being the best quarterback the Jets have ever had.
All right. Well, running back, this one was easy. Curtis Martin, he's a Hall of Famer, and he's really one of the only Hall of Famers that did all of it with the Jets.
These AFC East guys just bounce within the same division.
That's why I really tried not to continually do it.
Yeah.
That's why that's almost a big part of why I was like, okay, I already got Gilmore on 2. I'm not doing Buonaconti on 2, and I'm not doing Curtis Martin on 2.
Fair.
So I tried to pick one and just stuck with it.
Okay.
But yeah, best running back in Jets history, leading rusher.
Easy.
Easy.
There's no conversation.
So wide receiver 1.
Okay.
Now, brace for a history lesson, you guys. All these wide receivers they're back there.
Yeah.
Wide receiver 1, Don Maynard, 12-year Jets, and the Jets all-time leading receiver, Hall of Famer, member of the AFL all-time team.
Yep.
Also a member of their only Super Bowl winning team. His number is retired with the Jets. So yeah, he's wide receiver 1.
It got the same guy. I mean, it's tough picks for the Jets' best wide receivers at this point.
They had a lot of dudes that I thought were on similar levels. So wide receiver 2, I got Altoon.
Okay.
Multiple Pro Bowls and All-Pros, entire career with the Jets. AFC Player of the Year and receptions leader.
Okay.
He played in the era after their Super Bowl year, so he never won a Super Bowl. But during his time, he was one of the best receivers in the league.
With you.
And then wide receiver 3, the New Englands may have Wes Welker, but the Jets have Wesley Walker. Okay? Same dude.
Wes Welker.
Wes Welker and Wes Walker, dude. 2-time Pro Bowler, first-team All-Pro, Jets' second leading receiver all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets, honestly, other than Maynard,
okay,
the Jets really had a lot of dudes that operated at, like, that Pro Bowl level who were all within, like, the 2 through 4 range for receivers.
Yeah.
So I just picked the dudes that I thought were the most impressive on that one.
Yeah. I put a little bit of I actually have Quincy Enunwa as my wide receiver 3. Believe it or not.
Dude, Jets fans, he fucking hates you.
I hate all of you, by the way.
No, Quincy Enunwa in there.
Man, strictly personal bias, and this is no disrespect because I've got, I really wanted to put Wesley Walker specifically because of his fucking name. But I remember watching Quincy Enunwa back in his weird prime of that.
I remember seeing him get fucking creamed by somebody. I forgot who it was.
That was the end of his unstoppable time. But in the brief period before he got completely injured like that, he was a guy that I wanted on every single Madden roster. I wanted him on my fantasy team. The dude, for playing with Geno Smith, of all freaking people, looked like he could absolutely be a wide receiver 1. And I don't know if he counts as a wide receiver 3. I don't know if you could put him on this list.
Of course you can. You just did. You put Tyreek Hill on the Dolphins. At least this guy caught something for the Jets.
I love being just a loose cannon with these picks, but absolutely, and Quincy Enunwa's got to get some respect. But man, Wesley Walker,
I can tell.
I got to give it to him.
All right, left tackle. This is actually a very great player. The Jets line is particularly great.
If only it was all together at the same time.
Exactly. So left tackle, I got Winston Hill.
Okay.
Super Bowl winner for the Jets, played there for 14 seasons and is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, just a classic.
So super solid left tackle.
Yeah, classic old school guy.
Yep. Left guard, Randy Rasmussen.
Yeah.
Staple the Jets O-line for 15 years, including their Super Bowl season also. So him and Winston Hill played together.
Yep.
Center, this guy did not play with them. He's much more modern. Kevin Maue. I believe that's how you say it.
Nick Mangold.
I'd shout out to him, but here's why.
Okay.
Hall of Famer, perennial All-Pro and Pro Bowler, and is one of the best centers in the league's history.
Okay.
Nick Mangold was good. Kevin Maue was that good, but way longer.
That's fair.
And
I love Nick Mangold.
Yeah, I literally have on here. I thought about Nick Mangold.
I wanted to. I really did. I wanted to for a modern guy on my roster, but yeah.
Exactly. And again, I really battled with that. But the truth is, the Jets have had a little bit of a rough go of it in recent years.
Yeah, they have not exactly had a stud O-line in the more recent years.
No, they have not. But, so yeah, and at right guard, I really almost put Nick Mangold in because center to right guard is not a huge leap. But I ended up going with Dan Herman because he's just a really good ground and pound guard.
Yep.
That with somebody like Curtis Martin and the rest of this really strong line, that's what you need.
Yeah.
So that's what I got at right guard. And then I got my modern man, and he's in the first name Hall of Fame, baby. D'Brickashaw Ferguson.
I was going to say, if you didn't say D'Brickashaw Ferguson.
Yeah, first name Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Love it.
Yep, that's who I got.
Yeah, modern Jet, Pro Bowler, All-Pro.
Just a stud.
One of the really good players in the AFC Championship Jets.
Yep.
Of the early 2010s. So
you forget about him, to be completely honest, which is just unfair. Dude was locked down for the Jets for his entire career.
Yeah. So on to the defensive end, and I think their defense is very interesting. So first defensive end, Mark Gastineau.
Okay.
Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time sack leader, multiple-time Pro Bowler and All-Pro, another 10-year Jet.
Yep.
And he held the single-season sack record when he retired with 22. And this was in an era where they did not throw the ball as much.
Yeah.
So, very impressive as a pass rusher.
Huge. I mean, it just speaks volumes because, again, at 22 sacks now, what is it? What's the record right now?
22 and a half still.
22 and a half.
It is held by 2 people now.
Yeah, it's freaking crazy.
Who are the 2? You have to know them.
Oh, no, it's not Von Miller.
No.
No?
No.
Okay, Aaron Donald.
Nope.
No.
Strahan and TJ Watt.
Yes, that was it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Strahan broke it, then TJ Watt tied it this year.
I was looking for the modern guy who tied it, and I can't believe
Yeah.
Strahan. I'm such a huge TJ Watt.
Yeah, Strahan and TJ Watt. So, yeah, they broke Mark Gastineau's record.
I have to buy his jersey because he won me a fantasy playoff.
There you go.
Because of the Steelers' fucking defense, and he balled out. So
you love to see it.
Of all jerseys, I had to buy a fucking Steelers jersey.
All right, and then at D tackle, Joe Klecko, another defensive player of the year, another NFL sack leader for a year, and another Pro Bowler, an All-Pro, and another 10-year Jet. So we got consistency here.
Yeah, we got consistency on the D-line and just basically an all-decade team with 2 guys.
Exactly. And then D tackle 2, Marty Lyons,
Okay.
Jets Ring of Honor.
Yep.
And Jets Ring of Honor, and I lost it. Yeah, play another 11 years with the Jets.
God damn.
They had some very good defensive linemen that they retained and kept around, and
if only they could do that now.
Yeah, if only they could do it now.
Sorry,
yeah,
we're
we're keeping those guys together.
I'm not trying to go in on you guys. You just
and yet he is.
Hey, Zach Wilson's the man. I'm a huge Zach Wilson guy. Should have rocked.
He's the only guy that he's ever liked on your team. And then D end, my other D end, I went John Abraham.
Okay.
He only played the first few years of his career with the Jets, but in that time he was a 3-time Pro Bowler and a first-team All-Pro. So really high-end play with the Jets. He lines up on the other side of Mark Gastineau.
Yep.
I think that's a deadly combo.
You and me both.
Linebacker. Did 3 linebackers. Larry Grantham, Super Bowl champ, AFL all-time team, 10-time All-Pro, Jets Ring of Honor as well. Really consistent linebacker, was one of the great winners of the Jets.
Back in the day.
Exactly.
New York legend.
Second linebacker, Mo Lewis, 3-time Pro Bowler, 13-year Jet as well.
Okay.
And then my last one for linebacker is David Harris. This is a modern player. So yeah, not much winning involved, but a second team All-Pro and another 10-year Jet. So you got All-Pros and Pro Bowlers throughout the linebacker core playing freely behind a beast of a defensive line.
Yeah, I think that's just, it says enough.
Exactly. Now, cornerback 1. This was very easy, and there's a strong argument to be made that this is the single most dominant player who's ever worn a Jets uniform. There's some arguments with Gastineau and Namath and stuff like that, but Darrelle Revis certainly has a claim to that spot. He's arguably the second best corner ever, a true lockdown DB that matched up with any receiver.
Yeah.
And he literally dominated the league for over half a decade, had the single best corner season ever, I think, in 2009 or something like that.
Yeah.
And an ACL injury halted his prime, but at Revis's peak, Revis Island was everyone's nightmare vacation as a receiver.
100%. It was, man, watching him was something else.
Yeah, so Revis, obvious number 1 corner.
Easy.
Second corner, I got Aaron Glenn, a 2-time Pro Bowler and his 4th in Jets history in interceptions.
Yep.
Free safety, I went with the Jets' all-time interceptions leader, Bill Baird, or Byard.
Okay.
Something like that. Classic free safety. He'll be playing deep because I put somebody who's a classic strong safety next to him.
And who is that?
Now let's listen to me, Jets fans. We have to let some old wounds heal here. They're pretty fresh. But in his time in New York, Jamal Adams was one of the best safeties in football.
Bro, I think he genuinely he's still
He has not been as good in Seattle.
Exactly. I think the best of his career was in New York.
Which is sad.
Which is sad because it wasn't even that great, but it was good football.
It was great. His years in New York, he was great. He just didn't get much for it.
Yeah.
But with a ball hawk like Bill Baird playing the classic free safety, he'll play deep. Jamal Adams will stick around the box. he also would be the guy that you let go against tight ends and stuff like that because you get a more modern, athletic safety.
Yeah.
So yeah, my secondary is Revis, Aaron Glenn, Bill Baird, and Jamal Adams. And then kicker, I went Nick Folk.
Okay.
Again, just accuracy, consistency, and duration.
Arizona legend.
Exactly. And then punter, Curly Johnson, and returner, Leon Washington.
Okay. Yeah, I got Nick Folk myself, to be completely honest with you, and then Leon Washington as my returner as well.
There you go.
Yeah.